All right, I said I was gonna make a video about it today, so I guess I probably should. Concerning the current East versus West situation. Listen, I'm gonna probably be a voice crying in the wilderness on this one, because just the stuff I'm reading, stuff I'm seeing, interviews, whatnot. It's a whole lot of decisions being made and opinions being formed on a lot of speculation, because the cold hard facts are, from what I've seen so far and who I've talked to, nothing that's been put out there is facts, and if you go look at what Egan's saying, it's a lot of stuff he's already said before. As far as what his plans were for the league, what he was trying to do, it's the same stuff as he's been saying from the get-go. If you look at what Devin said, he almost said nothing. And outside of that, I hadn't really seen anybody that's up here dealing with all of this that's actually said something that's factual. So, what I hate to see is this stuff going back and forth with code language and whatnot. I wish that everybody could sit down in one room and talk, see where we can go. Personally, I've been seeing this coming for about a year. And it's not based on anything one person said or didn't say or what have you. It's just based on my experience in these kind of leagues. From time I got into it to now, I've been a part of all three major leagues. They all have a 3 to 5 year period. When you start hitting that third and fourth year, you start seeing stuff like this happen for many reasons. Mostly because the money just ain't adding up to the money you put into it. And also, not saying that's what's going on with East versus West. I don't know the money situation. I can speculate on that, but I'm not going to. Also, though, because when the league does get bigger, you got to wear more hats as the chief that's running the show. And personally, Egan has said himself he can't wear all those hats. He don't want to wear all those hats, right? He said he's not a businessman. So what do you do when the business part gets a little bit too much? You bring a businessman on. You could argue that's for the money's sake, or that's for the organization's sake. I think it's both. Who knows? And when you do that, I know from experience of running my own business that when you bring other people in that are specialized in areas that you're not, you're going to have disagreements, because they don't understand what you're saying, you don't understand what they're saying. So you got to have these sit downs, these little powwows, if you will. And knowing the people that are involved, I can see how that's a real aggravating thing to do. So we need to keep all of these things in mind. We know certain things. It won't be the end of arm wrestling. All right, so calm down, get your panties out of a wad and calm down. We don't know what we don't know. All right. And if your opinion is based on speculation, you're not going to be able to see the truth when it does come out. In a week or 2 or 3, all this will be out in the open. All right. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. All right. So, like I said, what I don't like is certain people that have that voice, that are making videos that are very, very gray, if you will. You're saying stuff, but you're not saying stuff. You know what I mean? So, when you bring people on, certain people gonna have different visions than this person, and you're gonna have these things. Just like in a regular family, you gotta have a sit down where everybody's calm and everybody has the same goal in mind. And if you can't, well, then you can't compromise, then you got to go your separate ways. And then, let the stuff be aired out then. Are we in that spot yet? I don't think so. We'll know in a week or two, I guarantee it. I'm not going to go into all of what you know, the reasons I think of this or that. You know, what I'll say something that I do know. The athletes that aren't getting paid from King of the Table, and it's only King of the Table from what I see, it's not East versus West. The guy that was running King of the Table owed some people money when he sold out. So the guy that bought King of the Table now is taking on that debt. I've not gotten paid more times than I can count, unfortunately. And I'm always gracious in that area. I try to give that person time to get me my money at the end of the day. You know, I don't want to hear excuses. You can give me, you know, a time frame or whatever. And I'm sure that's being worked out. I don't know that. I would assume that based on the people that I know that own the league now. As far as East versus West goes, I think it's mostly one person has a certain vision, this person has a different vision, and there, you know, there's a conflict of interest there. But again, you don't know what you don't know. So people stop speculating and picking a side before you know what's really going on. Do we all love Ingen? Yes. Do we all love Devin and Robert? Yes. So, you know, you don't have to pick a side just yet. All right. I personally, I'm gonna sit back and watch the show and see where the where everything falls, and you know, because I'm a loyal person. If you've been loyal to me, I'm gonna be loyal to you. You know, in this case, nobody's been disloyal to me. So, you know, I'm gonna see where the cards fall, and we'll go from there. But you know, to sit here and make posts and long paragraphs talking about this and that, you know, when you don't even arm wrestle for the league, calm down, all right? Calm down. You know, like I said, I've been a part of all three major leagues in the last decade and a half, 2 decades. And this has happened every time around the 4-year mark for reasons I've stated previously. You know, I stayed with UAL the first year WAL come out because I'm loyal, and you know, I was getting paid what I said I was going to get paid, and until I wasn't, I stayed. You know, I mean, it didn't matter to me that this league was outshining this league, but the same thing ended up happening with WAL. You know, so it's not a surprise to me that this is going on. You know, you're going to have growing pains. And around that 4-year mark, like I said, you know, Ingen can't wear all the hats. He's got to give some hats to some other people. And, you know, Ingen's got to be able to compromise, just like these guys got to be able to compromise. And, you know, as far as all the people can't say this because they're going to get sued, let me tell you something. These athletes can say whatever they want. They're not going to get sued, okay? I've already been through that. Listen, what the athletes do make ain't worth it's not worth hiring a lawyer over. And as far as the promotion, think about it. If they sue one arm wrestler, how many arm wrestlers do you think is going to arm wrestle for that league after that? It's not going to happen. Now, as far as the owners, I get that. There can be some legal stipulations there. All right, whatever. Even though it's international and it'd be really hard to do stuff, you know, like that, it's still possible. I get that. But if you're an arm wrestler or a spectator for that matter, and you're worried about getting sued, I hate to break it to you, you're not that important, okay? You're just not. You're expendable, like the rest of us. Doesn't matter what your name is, okay? If you don't have stock in this company, like literal stock, then hush, you're not that important, all right? So I'm gonna put this out there. Quit making all the negative posts and comments and videos. Let's be optimistic and hope that these guys can work this out and we can continue to build this league and make arm wrestling mainstream. All right? If you're not being optimistic or being positive right now, we don't need your energy, okay? Wait till the cards fall all the way out and we know what's going on. Because again, if you build your opinion based on speculation, you're not going to be able to see the truth, Nancy. I promise you. That's what's wrong with American politics right now. So, you know, keep an open mind, be optimistic. You know, I can guarantee you one thing: arm wrestling is not going away because of this. Even if East versus West dies, it's not going away. We've been here. I hope it don't. I think one or two things is going to happen. They're going to come together. East versus West will be bigger than it ever was. It'll continue to grow. Or you're going to split and you're going to end up having two leagues. One's going to fail, one's going to rise for a little bit, hit that 4-year mark, and we're going to end up in the same place. What's the best indicator of future action? It's what's past action. It's history. So just look back. For all you new guys, listen to what I'm saying. Calm down. All right? Arm wrestling ain't disappearing. So anyway, that's my TED Talk, my 2 cents for today. I got to get to work and actually do some stuff because unfortunately arm wrestling doesn't pay my bills. Anyway, y'all stay blessed. Like and subscribe. Roll Tide. I got some news coming out too, so y'all stay tuned.